what would you say was your most memorable moment on the set?
Too many.
Watching her sing,
Oh.
truth be told. Absolutely. That was the highlight of the film for me. When I saw the film for the very first time at the premiere in Cleveland, of all places, and that was the kind of the shining moment, I thought.
Oh, I mean, it was lovely for me to do, and it was also my 13th birthday, so particularly memorable. Yes, I do remember that. But there were so many. You know, the sets were amazing. That chocolate room, the waterfalls, the inventing room was great fun, wasn't it? So many things.
Persimmon having the exploding candy go off. Could you put that a little bit closer to Paris?
And any challenging moment?
Plenty. Plenty. I mean, you know, because some of the scenes were uncomfortable. I hated that black and white room where we were all squashed in before we go in. That somebody agrees. The black and white room where we were all squashed in was particularly uncomfortable. I mean, you had the fizzy lifting.
Fizzy lifting, with harnesses, with wires, was difficult. Not the most comfortable. More uncomfortable for Jack than for me. And then the Wonkamobile, where all the suds, the foam came out. That took forever to do because you would do a take, you'd have to clean it all up, do it again. So that was a long day.
And for me, one sequence in the song, after doing the cellophane round Gene Wilder, then there's a long sequence of ribbons and trolley and boxes and things, and if they didn't all go in the right place at the right time, we had to do it again. So I remember that one sequence we did 36 times, most I've ever done in my career.
Wow. Now, what do you think about the remake featuring Johnny Depp?
We usually put that question back and ask everybody else, what did you think about the remake?
I actually did not want to see it. I have yet to see it.
Correct, right. Which is the right answer.
And a lot of people say that. But in reality, we all thought, or I thought, you know, we've had 30, because we'd done 30 years at that point. You know, we've had a good innings, and it's, you know, okay, if we lose our popularity now and they take over, well, so be it. But in fact, kind of sparked a debate, really.
Right. And probably generated more interest in the original. So, but there are points in that film which I absolutely love. So it's just different.
So people have become quite partisan. So,
sure.
And that's fine.
And what's your favorite aspect of the fantasy realm?
I think that Charlie, that anything is possible, you know. That here was a kid that had nothing and competing against the rest of the world to find the golden ticket, and he found it, and good things happened to him. So, I mean, that's a great fantasy.
So I suppose it's a similar thing, you know, obviously, but my character was slightly different, and, you know, what goes around comes around. I like to believe in that. You know, if you do good things, then good things happen to you. And likewise, if you do bad things, bad things happen. You go down the chute.
Now, how often do you actually come across a Willy Wonka bar or a gobstopper or anything like that?
Oof, probably all the time. At the checkout counters, you'll see the candy, and you think, oh, there it is again. It's hard to run away from this. There's not a day that goes by that you don't have a memory or somebody will say something to you. But it's been part of our lives for 40 years, 41 years.
Yeah, huge fan of Wonka Nerds, which we can't get in the UK. I love Wonka Nerds, and my daughter loves them too, and all her friends at university, so I have to take bagfuls back home with me. And I was at Universal Studios in LA, taking my son there for the day. We were in the candy store there, buying Wonka Nerds, and they were playing my song over the tannoy in the shop. That was a very surreal moment. I started singing it, and a woman next to me went, "Oh, you know all the words."
That's hilarious. So what would you say are some of your favorite book adaptations or musicals today?
I want notice for this question because I want to think about it. Gosh, book adaptation. I mean, there are so many. I mean, but and obviously currently there's a lot of movies. You know, we've got Wuthering Heights, and there's been Jane Eyre, and all of these kind of things, and Pride and Prejudice. So all of those are great. But stories I grew up on. I mean, I loved Matilda, the other Roald Dahl, and James and the Giant Peach. So there's a lot there. So I think if it gets kids reading, good.
But Charlie and the Chocolate Factory definitely has a special place, and that's probably why the film was successful and it's stood the test of time, is that the book had a huge following before they ever filmed it. So people were well aware. Every fourth grader in America, I think, read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And what would you say that you would like a lifetime supply of?
Chocolate, of course.
Not for me. Don't like chocolate.
Really?
No, I didn't like chocolate as a child. I've worked on it since I've been in therapy. But as a child, I didn't like chocolate, so I would not want a lifetime supply of chocolate. I don't know. My luxury, I always think about that. If I was on a desert island, we have a radio program called Desert Island Discs, and you're allowed to take one luxury item. What would I do? I would have clean white bed sheets every day, freshly laundered and ironed.
And a lifetime supply, I would say running shoes, because I'm always going through running shoes, and I always need them. So there you go.
Yeah.
And finally, what would you say you were surprised to learn about yourself through your characters?
You should be a therapist. These are all very good questions. What did I learn about myself? What I've discovered actually, just in the last few hours of talking, what did we learn from being on the movie? And I learned discipline, which has stayed with me throughout my life. We were kids. We were on a movie. We had to be professional. There was no room for an ego.
Right. We were all expected to work as professionals, work as adults, and there are a lot of people like this. There's two people in front of the camera, multiple people behind the camera that are all counting on you to perform, to do a good job and not let them down. So that carried over that sense of discipline and that sense of professionalism in what you do today and what I do, definitely carried over from the film.
Peter's a veterinarian, as you say it, doing large animals, dairy cattle, and I'm a psychotherapist, which is interesting, your questions. I'm going to go away and think about those. I'm a psychotherapist. I work at a hospice with children, so quite different careers.
Well, that's all my questions, so thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure meeting